All right, so this is is my gun compatible? Is my trigger compatible with AR-15 for the split fire? Like, what can be done? I've had a few questions on, well, will it work with my gun? And of course, that's what we all want to know. So I figured I'd take them apart. I've got, I don't know, 10 or 11 AR-15s here. And I'm in the process of taking them apart to make sure fit among brands. And I've got, 10 or 11 different brands between Bushmaster and Daniel Defense and Ruger, Smith & Wesson. This is a Wyndham Weaponry AR-15. So figured we could pop it open, and anyway, you can kind of see that from the beginning. And then there's some things that I think we can try to kind of help the compatibility, because some of the custom triggers that you drop in, for those of you that have custom triggers, some of them work and some of them don't. And it's not even like the split fire deal. It's how they're made. They actually physically cannot be depressed on that trigger tail. So I'll show you. So we'll get into this. So the split fire, we are a forced reset super safety. We're calling it rapid safety. And what this does is I've got my trigger tail here. So if we have it facing this way, we've got the barrel of the gun going over here, we've got the trigger tail like this. Well, on your trigger tail, that's going to be represented by the screwdriver here. When we are in rapid safe mode, what happens is the bolt carrier group goes back when you shoot to chamber another round, and then this lever will rotate around and depress that, which is essentially turning on the safety temporarily. And then when it comes back and chambers around, your safety gets turned off and you can have your full semi-auto, or anyway, whatever we're calling it, enhanced semi-auto. It's not full auto. And the full auto deal is important because full auto's totally and completely illegal. And there's some safety features that are done away with, and that'll be another video too, FRTs versus super safeties. But anyway, on the rapid safety here, your trigger group is intact. Your catch pins, nothing is touched. It is completely triggered, just drop in stock off the shelf. And when your safety's different, that's the only thing. It allows you to shoot a little faster, but all your function is still in there. And so again, we've got the tail of the trigger that kind of engages there, and when you shoot, BCG comes back and it glides on there, and then it's reset. So that's the forced reset that's allowed legally, according to everything I can possibly find. There's a lot more educated folks on that ATF settlement with rare breed, and so anyway, this is supposed to be instructional. So that's kind of how it works. It's what we're working with, which is awesome, because we definitely don't want any compliance issues, because I want to be legal. Be awful bad to have any poor repercussions from something that is our Second Amendment rights. So I'm just, to install this, first of all, taking my upper from the lower here, and all we have to do is take apart the handle. So it's real easy. Some of them I've come across have a flathead screwdriver. This one has a 3/16 Tex bolt socket cap screw. I can have my hardware background come in line there, and I'm just going to pop this out. And then I'm going to show you kind of what's so hard. I'm so excited to have so many guns here and have everybody try it to check the compatibility, because one of the things that's hard, and we're definitely going to have a running list so that we can say, hey, others have tried this, this works, this doesn't work. blah, blah, blah. We definitely want to have that, but we got to have some volume and scale. So once our handle and spring is in there, our selector pin is popped out there. So just going to set that aside right now, and I'm going to pop this out. So we're going to go ahead and get a flashlight on this real quick, and I just want to show you some of the hard things on the compatibility with this. So I'm really excited, like just seeing this for the compatibility, and that is, I just want to make sure you can see the trigger tail on the camera, because that's where the selector is going to be. And so what is happening is I'm going to hold the trigger and simulate the BCG, but we're going to select that, and then right here, that's going to have a catch in the trigger that we're not modifying, but I'm still holding the trigger. And what the SPLITFIRE is going to do is it's going to push down on that to perform a reset, and then as soon as I let off this, the trigger, or the hammer, is going to fire. And so as far as compatibility, that is really all you have to do. That geometry is going to be there, and that should be good. So I'll show you one more time. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull the trigger back. I'm going to cock the hammer, and then I'm going to push down on the trigger tail right here. It's not hard. It's probably 10 pounds. I mean, the harder you pull the trigger, the harder it is that's gonna be. So pull the trigger normally, and then as soon as I let that off, it's gonna go. Whereas if I hold the trigger and I don't push down, I'm holding the trigger, but because of that catch, it's got that reset in it. So that's what we come across. Now, I just want to show you, there's a lot of design differences between all the different brands, and there's so many of them. This shelf can be higher or lower, so that's one aspect that we've got to look at. A lot of them are milled out right here in that half moon or semicircle, whatever you want to call it. You see that okay on the camera? Cool. So there's that half moon, but then I'm looking at, let's see, this guy. And I've got a safety installed here, and I don't have it bolted down, but I'm going to maneuver this so that we can see it. In this lower, that half moon is completely gone, and so it just takes away some of not the function, because I've figured it out. This is more of a guide of like, oh my gosh, you know, one problem to solve after another. You get it working in one gun, and then you go to another, and now you've got 2 guns to make sure it works. And then you expand to 3 guns, just a bigger sample size, just to have a bigger product. But you can see just that difference alone, where that's basically flat. That's just something I had to engineer around, which I have successfully. So I don't have a bolt in this, the SPLITFIRE, but I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this pin, and this is plastic too. Definitely not going to ship plastic, but just prototype purposes here. So we're going to go ahead, pull the hammer, run this back, and then that's going to reset it, and then we're going to go ahead and fire. And so it's really awesome to have that run. I mean, I'm doing it, you know, with my pinky here. It's not a lot of force or anything. It just has to hit everything properly. And so that's kind of that's one of the situations I've kind of run up against. Another one is let's see, which lower was I working with? Was it this one? Should probably start putting some of these back together. Anyway, yeah, what are we? Yes, okay. So out of all the lowers I'm working with, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my right hand selector and just throw this back in real quick so we can ensure fit. So all we're doing is we're assembling this back together. We've got our drop-in pin, We've got our spring, which I'm grateful. I love when it's hex. The flathead screwdriver is kind of a pain, but anyway, maybe somebody smarter than me can explain why they use both of them. And the threads are pretty long, so it takes just a second. But my goal is, communication is the hardest thing on the planet. And the AR-15 is mil-spec, but man, you start measuring stuff with calipers and getting all this figured out, there's definitely some variance in where this can be. And the goal is to have a drop-in safety solution on this. So the first thing we're gonna do, now that my handle's back together, we're going to just make sure that we get nice, good clicks, that it's nice and smooth right here. This particular one just needs to be buffed out a little bit more, but anyway, it's pretty good. Hearing a very nice click as we go around. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave the hammer down. I'm gonna put it in the semi-auto position, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw a lever in here. Let's see, I've got this guy ready to go. So I'm just gonna put this in my lap. We wanna make sure we have the tail of it pointed back towards the stock on your shoulder. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. And then this is going to be self-centering here. So, let's see, I'm gonna do this guy. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw my bolt on the side of it, and then we're gonna go ahead and screw that together. It's kind of got a self-centering design in there. I let it go ahead and turn. As I screw it in there, it'll be nice and flush, and now we're ready to go. So this is probably a little risky because I haven't tried it on this gun. Perhaps I should have, so we're gonna figure this out together. And ultimately this is kind of the prototyping deal. So first of all, our safe works. Do not use this. Your safety has to work on your gun. So we're gonna go to our semi, and we're gonna make sure that everything's good there. So I'm gonna hold the trigger, and we're gonna go back. We're gonna move, everything's free. The trigger works as it should. That moves free. And then what happens is when we go to rapid safe mode, the bottom of that is dropped in. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this, run the BCG back, and then, yeah, so not getting reset on this one. I was a little worried about that. And that happens with someone. I just have to expand a nub on there, which I have done with the plastic ones. So anyway, that's gonna work. Man, that's disappointing, have it on camera. We're too far in to have a failure, but anyway, whatever. So it is pushing the trigger down. You can kind of see my finger moving, but it's just not enough to disengage that catch on there, but until I let go of it. So anyway, not the end of the world. What it should, anyway, I've got this Daniel defense right here. I can just show you. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull the trigger, go down, and it's gonna reset. No big deal. So same deal, just like that. So anyway, that's, yeah, kind of disappointing, but anyway, moving on, since this works with the Daniel defense, I'm just going to, let's take that same upper that I've got, and anyway, we're going to go ahead and pop this in. So this is that upper, what brand was this again? Wyndham. The upper's Wyndham, and then we go right here, go off, and then we need to do a check to make sure that everything is perfect on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure the hammer's down, and we need to make sure that our safety still works, continues to work, which is perfect. It's working great. And then we're gonna go to our semi-auto, and maybe I'll throw a bolt in this just to, so I don't have to run it with 2 hands. I think that's worth it. Okay, perfect. So I got a bolt in that. That's a lot better. So now we're gonna run our semi, and again, this is a plastic lever in here, but that's gonna work great. We're gonna pull our bolt all the way back. There's no catch on there. There should be no jamming. The way that geometry is, should be perfect. Yeah, in my opinion, it is better for your bolt to be thrown back like that, and we can go ahead and check that again. Okay, now we get to move to the force reset portion of it. And anyway, that's don't be afraid to drop the bolt. It's better for it. That's what's going to be happening when you're shooting. So I'm going to go ahead, hold that trigger. The plastic one just broke. So it was working fine a second ago, but anyway, I'm about positive that's what happened. So we're gonna check here. Man, this is a successful video. Yeah, it sure did. That's what I thought. Well, that's okay. Let's see. Can't have success without failure, so we're gonna readjust here. We're gonna put this back. We are going to throw one into this guy just so I can actually be accurate and show you. So I should be embarrassed, but anyway, it's all good. Whatever. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Because I do want to show you everything. There's a few more aspects to this I want to make sure I cover here. So we're gonna throw this in. Want to make sure we're perfect. Run through everything real quick. Boom. Awesome. Okay. Now, when it comes to, I'll grab an upper here. The other challenge I've had with some of these lowers is the hammer can be like 3 millimeters different on the thickness right here. And so anyway, just something, the goal is to make the best product available, the best product on the market. And anyway, if I can't be honest about some of the challenges and stuff, and you know, this is all good news. I've overcome all these challenges. So anyway, that's working great. What I really wanted to show you is the functionality and fit, because we're gonna go over this in another video. You know, what FRP should I choose? What super safety should I choose? Yada yada. But this being metal, we're gonna be great. So we've got our semi right there, and then let's see, I had it on this upper. Okay, so now for the fit on here, so there's no extra click there. It's actually, when I pull this back, let's see if I can do it the opposite way, we're getting that fire every time. And so I'm gonna leave it cocked back. Actually, I'm gonna lock this back. And one of the things that none of the other, I haven't seen any other of the others do, is just the engineering, again, the part geometry, is the bolt is locked back right here, and the SPLITFIRE RS can do all 3 positions. We're not getting hung up, we're not jamming, we're not getting anything, just it's working how it should, and that's something I'm really proud of. So I started off thinking, oh man, you know, we can have another force reset safety on the market, And now I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm like, the engineering is coming out amazing. And I'm really proud of that, so we can lock it in position and then we can be ready to go. And anyway, it works phenomenally. Anyway, thank you. I try to be honest as possible. I'm not very good at lying. Anyway, would be great if a few of these, the video could have gone better. We can be honest about that. But you know, communicating the knowledge, communicating some of the things to look out for. But there's one more aspect I wanted to talk about real quick, and that was, I've had some people ask, well, how do I test this? And so I've got two rifles here that have custom triggers in them, and now let's take it apart this way. Okay, so everybody knows, I think, if you have a custom trigger, if it looks anything like this, that's definitely it. And so my advice to you right now, going, oh my gosh, is this compatible? As we get the list up and running, what my recommendation is going to be is, just like I showed you, everything is on that manipulation of the trigger tail. And that's how the geometry works. It's how that force reset works. If you open your gun up, and I'm gonna have you hold the trigger, just like this, just this setup. Real good. We have a good angle there? Okay, awesome. So I'm going to fire it and hold it as if I was in rapid safe mode, like the split fire. I'm gonna pull the trigger and I'm gonna keep it pulled. I'm going to run it back just like the BCG, and then I'm going to take a screwdriver and I'm gonna push on the back side of that tail and see if I can push to get a reset. And on this one, it works. I have no idea what kind of trigger is in this. I should get that figured out. So that's my bad. But that's a custom, you know, a custom really fancy trigger. And when I am able to push on it, it resets, and I don't have to let go of the trigger. So that's promising. Let's try this other one, because I just examined it. I know that it's a custom trigger, but I have no idea what this one is either. Checked everything, made sure we had no bullets in the chamber and stuff. That's always good to clear it. I just didn't clear it on the camera. Okay, awesome. So this is definitely a custom trigger. Some of you guys might actually know what brand that is just by looking at it. I don't. I wish I was smarter, but I'm not. Here we go. So on this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep my finger on the trigger as I run this. So we've got our snap, and then it goes back, and then I'm gonna take this screwdriver and I'm gonna push down as if the split fire was in there. And it shouldn't be hard. I mean, if you get past 15 pounds, I don't think it's possible. So this one doesn't look good. I didn't get the reset, so there's gonna be some that, you know, the stock ones, definitely trying to make sure that works. On the super, you know, Geisley comes up a lot. Gonna get that figured out. I mean, man, starting a business is not cheap, and especially if we're doing it all made in America. I mean, the price difference between going overseas versus in the U.S., but overseas is not an option for us. Not because it's registered or we couldn't get around it. I'm sure we could, but like just philosophy. You know, me, my partner, camera guy, both grew up on the farm. Just we're not gonna do anything overseas, and so that's just what we're gonna have to do. But it's great because we've got a fantastic community that we can that supports that same thought process, and so hopefully that's great. But it's just interesting just to see some of the challenges, some of the struggles on here, and be able to share it with you. But yeah, that trigger, maybe I'll take that apart, see if I can get one in. but this one, definitely not, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll have a list together. Hopefully the customers are gracious enough with the orders that we can share some information and help others out too, so that we can check compatibility to get everybody taken care of. So anyway, I hope that's everything. By all means, in the comments, this was a longer video just showing that thought process, but compatibility is important. Make sure, hey, does this work for my gun? And the least I can do is just be honest and transparent. So that's what I'm attempting. So anyway, thank you for watching. Leave any questions you got, and anyway, glory to God.